Attention. Go.
Each of them want to make a statement here because they don't know, they haven't raced each other. And they are going to want to try and get an early advantage, really fierce out the start. And that Dutch crew just crept a little bit ahead instantly. The application of the power that's going down there, the speed of those catches is fierce in the Hollandia Roeiclub crew.
Yeah, and their stroke, Rinks, 26 years old, has the advantage of having won the Temple Cup, the Student 8s Cup in 2015 here. So he's got some Henley experience and Henley winning experience. Of course, the Leander athletes train on this piece of river. They know this, and the course has been built up over recent months. So rowing down the course is really familiar for them. But so far, a clean start. Looks as though Leander are starting to edge through them.
So we have a lot of experience in that Leander Club. We had the two-man Ryan Todd Hunter was at Sabaudia, so somebody who's really part of the team for the future and wanting to kind of again lay down the marker. And we've got side by side here, and so the mind games here of who's going flat out, who's got something more, who's going to have more gears later, because they are both asking questions of each other and they are both matching each other at the moment.
I think a particular feature that you mentioned, Kath, of the regatta this year is just there's less form to go by. So you sit on the start, and usually you'll have raced, at this level, you'll have raced and have pretty good insights into the preference of race pattern, how fast you are relative to the opposition. But here, we don't know anything about each other. And so, as you say, the mind games really are going on. And look at those two boats surging, one, then the other, one, then the other.
Absolutely, and every time you do a move, you think, right, is this it? Are they going? I think the Dutch had the edge at the start, but I think now we see Leander just starting to nudge ahead. We saw a little bit more raw power out of that Dutch crew off the start, but now there's a little bit more smoothness. The length is there in the Leander crew, and they are now starting to move away.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. My heart rate was going up there just watching that, because, as you said, in the mind games, you want to get off the start and you want to get a read on, well, are we faster than them or not? And right now, it's barrel for barrel, it's stroke for stroke, you can't actually tell. And you may be starting to think with little doubts, you know, is this going to be like this all the way down the track? You know, I don't want a gut buster. I want to open the pipes, get ahead, and then sit on a lead in this round, right? So that's a really tough one.
And actually, you want to turn that bit of your brain off. You can't completely, but you need to put that aside and think, right, I need the best stroke, followed by the next best stroke, followed by the next move that we're going to do. But you do have a little part of your brain thinking, how much have I got? How much have they got? How are we doing?
So a really great tight race in this open men's coxless 4 with some international standard athletes through each boat. Harry Glenister in the 3-seat of the Leander crew was in the British team, just missed out on the qualifying in the men's coxless pair for the Olympics. So top class athletes through this race, and that's what the Stewards is all about. We've seen some tremendous racing through the year, and many of the legends of rowing have got their names on the men's rowing trophy for the Open Men Coxless 4, the Stewards Challenge Cup.
Absolutely, all these athletes are hungry to race. They haven't had enough international racing, and that's where Henley's been so brilliant. We've seen people coming back from Tokyo, including the spare pair in the Dutch event here. We see Ralph Rinks and Rick Rinks in that Dutch crew, and Rinks is such a kind of legendary name within Dutch rowing. Nico Rinks was the incredible stroke of that Atlanta winning 8 back in '86, and there's a lot of experience here. We know Michael Mantle at 3, he won gold in the under-23s in Plovdiv in the 8 in 2018, and so, you know, Ralph and Michael Mantle, they go back to juniors where they won gold in the Dutch crew in Rio in the juniors in 2015. So much experience here, and we can see a really tight race.
It's brilliant. We've just gone through the halfway mark, just past Foley, 9 metres past Foley, and we can think the Hollandia crew has got a little bit of an edge on here. And as you said, Kath, that kind of pairing since juniors, that kind of cohesion can really count for something. In this kind of very, very fatiguing race, you've almost got an automatic trust in your crewmate. You've got an automatic sympathy in terms of your rowing styles, but it's still neck and neck. It's about as close as it was 10 metres off the start.
It is. So both crews are under pressure. Neither crew can relax. They need to think about where they put the moves in, how they hold the others. When you're this close to each other, you can often hear and sense when the other crew's doing a bit of a push that you then want to hold, match, and then go yourself. So this is where the race plan is really important, that whoever's calling that in the bow seat or the 2-seat needs to think on their feet tactically. What do we do now? Again, just the edge in that Leander crew, just a tad smoother, a little bit more raw power in the Dutch crew that isn't quite getting the boat speed, but it's still anybody's.
Well, the Dutch are slightly ahead, maybe a nose ahead, coming up to a canvas ahead. This is a decisive point in the race, coming into the third quarter, and this is where the Dutch are going to try and make their move. They want to try and take distance off, maybe get a bit more of a lead, pushing it out, as you said, getting that advantage as much as they can, because this is where it's really hurting. We see this in Olympic racing, 2,000-metre racing, the third 500 there, the third quarter of the 2,112 metres here, absolutely vital, and this is where all that training counts and that mentality and that technical excellence counts.
They will be thinking, when do we lift for the finish? Do we call it early in that Leander crew? What have we got left? How do we do it? Do we need more technique or do we need more strokes per minute? What's the power that's left? They've all done the training. They've all been going for seats in Olympic crews this year. They have the physiology. They have to get the most out of the physiology now. But we can see on the near side that Dutch crew are starting to creep away even further.
Well, we're just passing the mile and Yates signal. Leander now have to answer the question that's been posed to them by this Hollandia crew from the Netherlands, and it's up to them to make a move now. They've got about 300 metres, maybe less, coming down this track as we approach the finish line.
You can see, though, the heads are up in that Hollandia crew. They've lifted the rate. They've got that lift of at last getting through, being able to see the other crew. There's that bounce. There's the way the blades are snapping out of the finish. They've got that sense that they've got the lead. They know they're nearly there. Leander have got to do something enormous to challenge, but they are going to challenge. You can see, again, their rate is going up. They're going to have a go, but I don't think they've got enough.
It's all or nothing for Leander. The Hollandia crew are still, I think, for my money, moving distance per stroke, a little bit of extra every stroke. Leander tried to respond, a little look across there from bow Ed Graysdale in the Leander crew. Rick in the stroke seat of the Hollandia crew, not quite sure where the finish line is. It's 12 metres further, 112 metres further away than it usually is, but they cross the line first, a length up on Leander. What a great race, very well matched crews. Not too much racing this season between them. They didn't know what they were up to face, and great result for Hollandia, moved in the middle and took the length.